Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. One of my viewers wanted me to talk about what they believe is a workplace bullying epidemic. Now, when it comes to the workplace, this viewer believes that there is an epidemic of people being bullied at the job and coerced to do things that they don't like by either coworkers or managers. But what I believe is going on as related to the workplace is that we've got a lot of people who really do not know how to set boundaries for themselves at the job and establish how they will be treated from minute one. Now, in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, I tried to detail how to identify workplace predators at the job. And when it comes to the workplace, yes, there are a lot of workplace predators you need to look out for. And like I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, you have to look out for and identify those predators. And as you're identifying those predators, what you have to do is go out here and set boundaries for how you will be treated at that job. Now, one of the problems I see with a lot of people who enter the workplace is they really do not know how to go out here and establish a platform of respect for themselves at that job. And the reason why they don't establish a platform of respect for themselves at that job is because they come into the workplace with a codependent frame of thinking regarding the workplace. And as they come into that workplace, they believe that the employer and the workers at that job have more power than they do at that job, and that's not the case at all. No, when it comes to the workplace, the employer, yes, they can go out here and they are the ones who hired you to do labor, and they are the ones paying you a salary, but that does not give them all the power over you regarding your work at that business. No, in that business, this is an interdependent relationship, and yes, this is the person who is hiring you to do labor, but that person that has to respect you as a person, and as you are at that job, you are deserving of your respect as a person at that job, and you deserve to be treated in a way where you are seen as a person and given regard for being a human being. And you have to insist on this just when you come to that job during the interview. You have to insist on this on your first day at the job, and you have to establish being respected at that job on the first day that you come there. And this is how you shut down the bullies at the job, because if you take your respect from that first day, then you will not have to deal with workplace bullies. Yeah, there are gonna be people like female predators and these beta males who will try to test you, but you have to understand that how you come into this job is how you are going to leave. And if you do not take your respect, these people will work to take you out of that job, because what happens with many of these workplace bullies is these workplace bullies basically what they want to do is bully you out of that job because they don't want to compete against you. Now, some people believe that the workplace bully is somebody trying to get you to do things at the job, but the ultimate goal of the workplace bully is they are a mediocre worker who wants to eliminate their competition, because when you're in the workplace, the first thing you need to understand is as you're on this job, you are in a competitive environment, and as you are in this competitive environment, what this person wants to do is push buttons to get you emotional, and what they want to do is push buttons to get you emotional because what this person wants to do is eliminate their competition on this job and be the one who can go out here and have the opportunity to stay on this job and be able to advance themselves without having to deal with anybody challenging them in that company. That's the reason why you have workplace bullies, because what the workplace bully wants to do is, again, eliminate their competition. And this is one of the weaker workplace people next to the workplace mangina, who, again, this is a guy who tries to be sneaky and insidious. And I talk about him and Stop Simping in the workplace. But the workplace bully, what they want to do is go out here and try to scare people into leaving by being what they believe to be threatening and intimidating. But the truth is that this person is really just scared of you because you represent actual competition. And again, the way you push back on these people who really cannot compete is by not being fazed by them, not being fazed by these people, because when you take your respect, you go out here and you're not scared of these individuals. You're not scared of these individuals because there's nothing to be afraid at all. And this is why I tell everybody, when you go into the workplace, you go into the workplace from a place of indifference, because when you come from a place of indifference, what you're doing is taking away the bully's power, because what the bully wants to do is get you emotional. What the bully wants to do is get you riled up and get you to react to them. But the way you take your power from a bully is by going out here and remaining indifferent, because when you are indifferent, they can't get the emotional reaction from you. And the tactics that the bully uses are going out here and, again, looking to get you scared. And they look to get you scared by saying things like, you're not, this job requires such and such experience, or they try to get you to go out here and do duties outside of your job. And again, when they try to pull these tactics, this is where you go out here, in addition to taking your respect, is you go out here and you set boundaries as related to that person. Because what a lot of workplace bullies like to do is try to coerce you into doing things to sabotage yourself. And one of the things that they try to do to try to get you to sabotage yourself is they go out here and they try to tell you to do things outside of your job description. And when they try to do that, what you're going to do in that situation, when they try to tell you to do things outside of your job description, is one, you're going to let them know what your job description is, and two, you're going to go to your supervisor and let them know that this person told you to do something and this is out of your job description. And I guarantee you, when the supervisor finds out about this, that'll shut the workplace bully down, because when it comes to strong bosses want it themselves to be the leaders, and they don't want somebody undermining their authority. And that's what workplace bullies try to do. They try to undermine the authority of management, and they try to undermine the authority of management by doing things like starting rumors, starting gossip, and telling people to do things outside of their job descriptions. And some of them even try to do things like create covert contracts where they try to get you to work extra hours or work hours outside of things, or tell you that you'll work some hours and in exchange for their hours, and then you work those hours. This person doesn't show up, and then you're working their hours and your hours. A lot of times workplace bullies in places with salaries try to do this. And again, what you're going to do is, again, let this person know where the line is. And again, this is what you have to do on the job, because yes, you have a right to work the job, but they have to treat you with respect. And again, if the way you get respect in a competitive workplace environment is to take that respect, you have to set those boundaries at that job when you are starting that job, because if you don't set those boundaries, you're going to become a pushover. And again, a pushover on the job. This is an individual who's out here doing work, and the workplace bully has them doing more than their job, and that person is doing more and getting paid nothing for all of that work. And that's not a situation you want to be in as an employee. You don't want to be in a situation where these people are, again, having you do their work, and then they're getting paid for doing nothing at all. No, that's a place where you're getting taken advantage of. And again, that's what happens to people in the workplace who do get bullied. Now, when you're in the workplace, again, you have to understand your time is money, and you don't want to spend your time spending having other people spend your money. That's what happens when you get bullied on the job. You are taking your time to go out here and have people spend your money. You got to think about it that way. Again, this is you doing all this extra labor, putting in all of this extra time, and you're not getting paid for it. And again, you go to this job, you're going here to get your bread, get paid, and stack your paper. And again, you cannot allow people to take money out of your pocket the same way a high school bully comes in and wants to take your lunch money. No, that's ultimately disrespectful, because that's exactly what these people are doing when they have you doing extra work, when they have you going out here and taking on tasks. And again, when it comes to your money, you got to look out for your bread. And again, when you go out here and do when you allow bosses or anybody to get you to do their work, because a lot of times when you're on the job, there will be females who will go out here trying to get you to do their work, talking about, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Well, yeah, okay, let it happen, because if this person cannot respect my time and will not look to pay me what I am supposed to get, then I got no problem leaving that job. And that's the way you gotta see it. Now, when there are also some bosses out here who also believe in being workplace bullies, and when it comes to a boss who wants to be a workplace bully, this is where you gotta draw the line. And again, draw the line in order to take your respect once more, because some of these bosses, they want you to go out here and do extra work. And again, when you're at this job, you have to understand that time is money. And since time is money, you should have no problem saying no to someone, even if they are paying you, because if that's not in the job description, it's not in the agreement you had for that job, and you have no problem saying no. And at the end of the day, all they can do is fire you. And if all they can do is fire you, that's not a problem, because if this person can't respect you to pay you for your labor, then it's not worth your time to be involved with that person. Now, the same thing goes on for bosses who want you to go out here and do things that are illegal. Some bosses out here will go out here and make threats that they will do to fire you if you go out here and won't do things under the table. And again, you as a man have to understand that you have a right to protect your intangibles of manhood, like your dignity, your self-respect, and most importantly, your freedom, because this boss who wants to send you to do this a thing that's illegal, you're the one who's going to have to deal with that whole situation as related to the court cases and the lawsuits. So you have to say to yourself, no, if this person truly respected me, they're not going to ask me to do stuff that's illegal. And if they're asking me to do things that are illegal, I'm just not going to deal with that. And if I gotta go, I got to go. And I got no problem going to the exit, because when you're on the job, it's all about respect. And again, in order to get respect, you have to insist on it. You have to insist on it. And again, this is how you shut down workplace bullies. And a workplace bully can only bully people if they believe that they have power. But again, when it comes to the workplace bully, this is a person who cannot compete, and they want to go out here and try to be intimidating and try to scare people. But the whole thing is, you can't be afraid of this individual. No, you have to be indifferent towards them, and you have to be indifferent towards them because this person, again, if they're here, they're gonna be gone sooner or later, because this person cannot compete. And since they can't compete, there's no problem, again, dealing with this individual. Again, no different than a workplace mangina that I talk about and Stop Simping in the workplace. These guys will go out here and try to, again, get extra work out of people for nothing. They're basically the something for nothing kind of guys. And again, nothing to be afraid of. And again, The way you deal with a workplace bully is by standing up and establishing boundaries as related to them. You establish boundaries by insisting on keeping your workplace, your work professional, keeping everything work related, keeping everything related to the duties of that job, and keeping everything related to things being legal on that job. This is how you shut down that bully, because a bully can only have power that you give them. And again, if you take your respect, you take their power away. And again, this workplace bullying epidemic, as the viewer claims is going on, can be stopped by workers pushing back. But people have to learn how to understand their value as people, because if a company wants to your labor, they need to value you. And that's something I try to do here at SJS Direct. I work with a lot of freelance artists, and I oftentimes try to give them as much respect. I mean, I'm tactful in my inquiries of them. I'm tactful in my communications with them. I go out here and try to give positive feedback, and I also try to go out here and give them payments on time. That's the ultimate form of respect, because when you value somebody's time, you make sure that their money is there. And again, you want to respect people. And again, respect is important. This is, again, for me, the workplace is an interdependent environment where both of us are going to receive things from it. And again, it's a two-way street. And a lot of people, they have a codependent frame of thinking regarding the workplace. And that's how bullies get power, because you think that the employer has all the power. No, the employer doesn't have all the power, because if they want labor that's going to do quality work, they're going to have to pay for that labor. And when you understand the value of labor, you're going to treat people right, because it's harder to find quality workers and then go out here and again, let them go. Again, what you want is worker retention, because with worker retention, you can grow your business. With worker retention, you can build your business up. This is something I learned working at the Strive Job Readiness Workshop. I mean, one of the things you want to do is retain talent, because if you've got talent on hand, and they can go out here and fill those higher spots when you're expanding the job, and that allows you to bring in more young talent and give them an environment where they can grow. And again, this basically allows everybody to develop their skills and craft. So you don't want to be a workplace bully. You want to create an interdependent work environment where people can have input, where people can have feedback, and again, people can understand they will be treated with respect. Again, the workplace can be a place where people can grow. And again, when you have bullies, this is an environment where you're going to have low worker morale, you're going to have high turnover, and you're going to be losing money, because every person you pay to walk out that door is money going out of your pocket. Again, every person you pay at a job and they turn over, it's money coming out your pocket. That's something that I learned, again, working at SJS Direct all these years, and even when I was working at other jobs. When you got to start paying the money, what happens when you're paying the money and a person quits? You're losing money on that labor, and the last thing you want to do is lose money on labor, because when those people don't stay long enough, they don't learn skills, but you're losing a bunch of money as related to that job. You're losing a bunch of money as related to that job, because that person is not staying to learn and grow, and you cannot get the value and return investment on that labor. You can't get that return investment on that labor if people are turning over. So when you have a job, again, you want to treat people with respect, because you want to retain talent. And again, retaining talent allows you to have a business that grows. So you don't want to go out here disrespecting your workers, and you don't want to have a guy bullying workers. This is something that a leader has to check early on. And again, if you got a guy pulling pranks and making jokes and again pulling stunts on your job, you got to shut that down. And when it comes to the bully, the faster you shut them down, the faster your business can become more productive, and you can start making this business really start to become a business that can really go out here and compete and actualize its potential. Now, this is a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can drop a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you want to learn how to identify workplace predators and take your career to the next level, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in the Workplace at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me be able to, again, make more videos, again, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, PayPal, or Cash App as well. And you can basically, again, help this channel out and help me continue providing lots of advice that has helped people be able to keep their jobs and move their careers up in the workplace. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available for the first time in paperback, Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.